Well, here is it. It's been a month since Valve allows the public publication of game footage, screenshots, and more about their new project Deadlock. Also, we knew about the game a long time ago, like from 2022, but now you can play it by inviting your friends. But what is Deadlock anyway? Is the game's Valve started making games again? It'll be a new era of game for the search to enter, and maybe even Half-Life 3? But it's like unlikely. Let's talk about the game itself. Deadlock is a slash of MOBA and Hero Shooter genres. We've seen other examples like Smite and Paragon, now called predecessor, but the MOBA aspect is the core. You can design a MOBA that plays in many different ways, but the important part is that it still adheres to the principle of the genre. The game itself was still known in October 22 under the codename Neon Prime, although at the time it was not known the game was about at all. People speculate not only about Valve's new IP, but maybe a game in Half-Life universe as well. Because not only Valve made Neon Prime trademark, but also with another name, Citadel. But of course, the gameplay also called Citadel will not be. But Neon Prime itself, people were able to find gameplay from the files of the game. In these footages, Deadlock could be such a sci-fi style. But of course, at the end of 2023, now we know for sure that the game will be called Deadlock. In May 2024, Deadlock footage was leaked online, and the closed playtest which allows people to try the project and invite others to try it started in August 2024. Players were also given access to a closed forum and Discord server to discuss the game, read patch notes, and provide feedback to the developers. Valve officially announced the Deadlock on August 23, 2024. Currently, access to the game is still only available by inviting friends. As the game is a mix of MOBA and Hero Shooter third person in the 6-6 format. It is Valve's first third-person shooter. The big BS of the game is the course of MOBA itself, which each player chooses a unique hero, character, or champion with distinct abilities. Players occupy different lanes which are creeps adding in PvE elements. You fight your opponents, eliminate creeps, take down towers, and deal with in match economy by buying itself and leveling up. The goal is to destroy the opponent base. Since Deadlock is in the alpha stage and the game itself is not really complete to release as a full-fledged product, there are 21 heroes available in the game, but their lore of the history of Deadlock universe is unknown, except for names in the description. Deadlock is set in an alternate version of New York City called the Cursed Apple, which makes the element of 1930 Prohibition-era history in occult with fantasy element, and has been compared to Bioshock Infinite. I'm certainly not a famous YouTuber so I'll get Deadlock and still in the cloud testing, but innovation from my friends so I was able to play Deadlock. I don't particularly like MOBA genre because of monotony after even just clicking on the map, but Deadlock made MOBAs more fun because of combination of hero shooter. Valve has high hope for the Deadlock and they even fix bugs very quickly and add new features to the game such as wall jumping and zipline to the top of a building. I also like the way the character design look in the game and the Deadlock gameplay itself. There are a few other characters with different design appreciated over time, with some of them could have been given more personality or tweaked in the design. Overall, the cast has solid foundation and each character is distinctive enough to stand out in the game's supernatural meet with 90s urban theme. Let's start first with the character of the game in themselves. In Deadlock, they had 223 heroes and 4 unreleased. First, it's Abrams, a hard-nosed detective in New York. Abrams has solved cases from missing person to ritual murders. His life changes when he finds a mysterious tome on his deck marked with cryptic warning. Now hunted by unknown forces, he determined to uncover its secret. Bebop, a gallant built by junkyard owner. Bebop since he's created as a mother she couldn't have. While she's now gravely ill, Bebop secretly engaged in illicit activities to fund her medicine, torn between loyalty and survival. Dynamo, one scientist, Professor Dynamo was atomized by a cosmic rift. Now an eternal being with the dying star at his core, he continues to teach at Columbia, seeking to understand his transformation while inspiring students with passion of knowledge. Grey Talon, after decades of monster hunting, Weasley Grey Talon retired to reconnect with family, but when his son's family died from suspicious circumstances, he picked up his bow once more, vowing revenge on the responsible for their death. Haze, an operative for a secret government organization, Haze infiltrates dreams to access and neutralize threats. As a part of the elite Sandman division, her job is to protect the country from supernatural dangers that lie beyond ordinary life enforcement. Infernus, an Ixen with a fairy temper, is supernatural control over flames, using her power for speed, destruction, and explosive attacks. When it sharply yells, he now claims his emotion as a bartender, rarely needing his deadly abilities. Ivy, a former gargoyle with Charnel Vigilante, wields superative and desperate power combination healing, stone resistance, and flight. After dismantling a crime syndicate to protect her adopted family, she now seeks a new purpose beyond Spanish Harlem. Kelvin, an under-scientist with freezing abilities, supports his team by showing enemies and healing allies. After a failed Arctic expedition, he emerged as a frostbitten, animated corpse, drawing back his scientist curiosity to uncover secrets of the Astral Gate. Lady Geist, a former socialite, made a necromantic part to regain her fidelity beauty. She drained life from enemies to fuel her deadly ability, relying on a desperate virgin with the power spirit to maintain her youth and power. Jason Lash, a former sailor and underground fighting champion, is a relentless bruiser who excels in close combat. With his grappling hook, life-stealing vibe, and power ground strike, he urgently initiates battles in crushing drops of an enemy with his death slam. McGuinness, a skilled engineer and machine gun-wielding hero, excels at building turrets and loves to support her team. Preferring hands-on work, she also dabbles in supernatural, and when things get tough, she unleashes a devastating rocket barrage. Moa and Krill, a duo with smuggler from New York underground, specialized in surprise attacks and battlefield destruction. As a member of the Tunnel Rats with borrowed tactic, disarmament attacks, and coordinated combos that leave enemies pinned and vulnerable. Paradox, a time-manipulating hero, disarming enemies with slowing abilities, strategic position, armed with a kinetic carbine and pulse grenade. She manipulated time to trap foes with her mysterious teeth. Guild delights in outwitting power corporation and government. Pocket, the hero of Firefox Industries, is spiritual and mobile hero wielding power and shotgun. After surviving an sensational attempt, they use teleportation, spiritual breath, and affiliation to hunt down enemies, keeping their true and death-defying hidden while seeking revenge. 7. A maniacal serial killer who escaped death row, even electrocutting his enemies. With his lightning-infused abilities and deadly precision, he shook and destroyed opponents, instilling fear in all who cross his path after escaping the world-toxic occult prison. Sif, a former criminal turned monster hunter, excels in a hit-and-run tactic. Armed with several knives and a shotgun, he bleeding his enemies in bleeding rage, finishing off weakened targets with his brutal killing blow as he seeks redemption for his path. Vindicta, a resurrected witch from the Salem Witch Trails, is a deadly marksman with a crow familiar and power rifle. Flying above the battlefield, she targets enemies from the distance, tethering and bleeding them from delivering little sniper shots in her war against the friends of humanity. Vsauce, a physics-y animal with an ectoplasmic with a goo body, disrupts enemy with his versatile goo abilities. Primarily to balance the Bermuda Triangle, he surfaced to someone powerful but trying to protect his deep-sea home. Warden, a militant alchemist from a long line for supernatural fighters. With his alchemist skills and willpower, he initiates enemies up close, preparing to prevent a mystic apocalypse. He stops the patrons from entering our world. Wraith, a charismatic and fast-firing combatant dominating New York City criminal underworld with her gambling network. With her telekinesis and teleportation ability, she controls battles, deciding which enemy will fall first. Yamato, formerly Kaori, is a close-range assassin using precision sword strike and shadow-infusing abilities. After her brother's death, she fled to the US, taking his name to rebuild his crime empire with unstoppable and deadly force. Mirage, an agile hero wielding wine-based powers, can transform into a tornado and manipulate life-stealing fire battles. As a diplomatic bodyguard for the Jin Ambassador, Mirage travels swiftly across battlefields to protect allies and eliminate weakened foes. Also, the yet-to-be-related character which they're on video, their animation, ability and whatnot, like the design of them, are still not done yet, so you can wait for them during the game's alpha or even the release itself. I also appreciate that Deadlock currently has a limited roster of characters that make the game more accessible and less overwhelming for the new players compared to other MOBAs with huge rosters. Hopefully the game developers they will focus on improving gameplay and possibly adding new maps rather than readily expanding the character roster. Deadlock itself does better differently and worse than others MOBA. Now better than MOBA, the game has huge learning curves to start constantly winning games at lower levels, but Deadlock has several qualities of the live versions that makes it way more approachable. The shooter elements are just as polished as any top-tier shooter, particularly in terms of movement mechanics. This is a big deal because shooter veterans can jump and grab the basics quickly, but they'll need to learn the intricacies of the MOBA elements. Meanwhile, MOBA veterans will need to adapt to the shooter mechanics, but they bring all their strategic knowledge with them. In Deadlock, players can dash, slide, double jump, air dash, and even wall jump thanks to recent updates. There are items that add teleports, increase the number of dashes you have, or even allow you to triple jump. One key mechanic in the game is called dash jumping, which falls into the category of small, constant skill checks that players love mastering. Firstly, there are all kinds of time starters to get you back into action quickly. They're in a shop in the lanes, assuming your fist tower is not destroyed, and how I will say this is zipline to streamline getting back to your position. The more objectives you take, the faster and more distant the ziplines become. The common and big problem with other MOBA games is the time wasted walking back and forth. Wave management is crucial but intuitive for new players. Building up creeps and crushing them into an opening turret when you're gone to the damage done to other structures instead is important. Deadlock addresses some of this frustration. The Lanion's phase is a short like 5 minutes. If you kill your Lanian opponent 2 or 3 times, the initial structure can be destroyed, which really rewards aggressive play. Also make sure every character can fight back, even in less favorable match-up, which is a big change from the other MOBAs where certain champion can only melee, leaving them vulnerable. Here, every character feels power enough to be viable. What's also different is that Deadlock doesn't have strict roles. The game assigns you a place when you enter, which eliminates the positionless over lanes that you often see in other MOBAs. Most games are over in about 20 minutes. If you're playing well, they can end in 20. A unique feature in Deadlock is a flag spot for the item when you destroy inner guardians near the base. This gives you an extra slot to streamline the game even harder if you're winning. The tower defense mechanics are also more dynamic. The guardian attacks the nearest enemy unit automatically, unlike in other games where the tower only engages when the enemy enters its range. This makes tower defense more tricky and exciting. Deadlock, as far as the accessibility is concerned, the learning curve is still there, but it's more understandable, especially for players familiar with hero shooters like Overwatch. The game mechanics are easy to learn, and the game has a feature that allows you to view builds and uploads by user, which is invaluable for newcomers. One key feature in Deadlock is the depth replay, which is a nice touch. Deadlock will likely to be free to play, which means microtransaction. Personally, I'm not suspicious to them. I see it's more of a tip and way to dress up characters, but I do worry about how predatory the chess might become. It's something to watch out for the game's develops. Graphics in Deadlock at first, when gameplay was leaked in spring, I thought the game was unfinished and had only colors, no texture. But after I was able to try the project itself, my opinion changed. A character that seems bland to me at first, I grew up with love. For example, the best character design for the turned out to be Abrams, Hayes, and Fairness, and similar characters that look more elaborate than others. The most crucial factor that ties everything together is that Deadlock plays incredibly well. The game core mechanics, moving, shooting, ability, feel responsive and polished. The feedback and information provided during gameplay, as well as how the game moves and reacts, are on par with some of the best titles in the industry. I always emphasize that the most important thing of the game is that it's actually fun to play. Deadlock delivers in a regard. This is key to drawing players in, keeping them engaged, and helping them discover the layers of the depth of the game has to offer. How many videos on Deadlock, how many funny, cool or buggy gameplay moments are caught by players on Reddit on Twitter, how many people are sent to Ivy. Even so the game is still in the alpha, the best design for the character are appealing, with well-defined personalities. The character's expressive movement, quips, and interaction makes them memorable and fun to play. This emotional connection encourages players to invest in their favorite characters, whether through fun art, lore, or just by making them. Personally, I found myself at their interaction and write remarks in much the same way I did when playing Overwatch. Kind of charm, key elements build a successful game community.